Hi, my name is Philip Kojababik, and I will be presenting to you The Faith of a Father, my movie pitch for Netflix. So I want to get into the target audience. The target audience is definitely directed towards males 18 plus. The start of the film would be mild, including parenting, ranching, and the realities of ranch work. It would be a soul burner. And I think it would appeal for young men, just because of the hunting, fishing, sports are a major factor. The father son bond obviously is huge too. So it takes place around 1913 on the fictional Dunsworth Ranch by a father, Ray, and son, Jack, single father, just raising his son on the ranch. Um, it's a very isolated ranch in the Cumberland Forest, acres of land with only Scotstoun, small town right by 20-30 kilometers from the ranch. The Dunsworth family looks at ranching as their only way of income, not knowing if the livestock will survive harsh winters and if they can get the proper food and whatsoever. It takes place around the time of Crown land introductions and in North America, so government regulations for public land and hunting. So I want to jump right into Ray, the father. He left the ranch at 18 when he was younger and became a notorious gunslinger in the South. Later on in his life, at around 25, he met a woman and impregnated her with their son Jack, and he later got married. And this is around the time the Rockford brothers were bothering him about the land, for trying to force him to sell and whatsoever. After the birth of their son, Ray moved back on the ranch with his wife and became a bounty hunter for some legal work. So he was an extremely strict but fair father in the end of the day, demanding nothing but perfection and consistency, and wanting his son to be the best he can be, because that's what the ranch was really built on. It has a reputation. He's a true American patriot. He loves the Second Amendment and his rights. So he's one of those more narrow-minded American patriots. Jack, on the other hand, is a tall, lanky, frustrated, hot-headed, but also extremely hardworking kid. He tries following in his dad's footsteps, running the ranch, and he's also trying to figure out what happened to his mother and figure out his father's past, because he can sense something. He's hiding something. But he's also constantly trying to impress his father and compliment him and try to get a compliment out of him, just because his father suffers from PTSD and stuff he saw as a gunslinger. So he has a very hard time showing affection. So when it does come, it's a very rare occasion. And a lot of kids can relate to this. Having their dreams shut down and having no confidence due to lack of affection. Hey, like growing up, that was me. My father was an old school guy, and I didn't really have a affectionate relationship with him, so I can kind of personally connect to Jack on this one. And then the Rockford brothers are also major characters that I wanted to talk about. They're the bad guys in the film. So the figure on the left, Joe, he was shot and killed by Ray in self-defense, back when Ray was a gunslinger working in the South. So it was a terrible situation where Ray had to do what he had to do to protect his life. And then years later, when Ray has the ranch with Jack and everything, Jack was maybe a year or two old at this point. Joe's brothers, James and Bill, they went to kill Ray only to find that he wasn't home. So they took Jack's mother's life and robbed at the ranch. So obviously there's some pretty intense scenes. The Rockford brothers came from an extremely rich family. They've owned the county for generations. They've been in charge for generations. They come from power and money, and they came back essentially threatening to take the ranch and use it for public crown land if they don't either sell it for an extremely low price. And Ray, being the stubborn man that he is, he's like, my ranch is worth more than this. It's been here for generations. So that's obviously where it kind of takes off in a sense. The settings in Montana, I felt this was perfect just because of the scenery and there's a lot of open fields and whatsoever. The mood would be more dark towards the middle end of the movie, but the start would be just more moody and cold from Ray, especially because of his lack of emotion. And a true inspiration to this film was the Dollars trilogy, because the music and those movies and the suspense, it just creates an emotion that I really haven't felt in another movie since then. So, especially the graveyard scene at the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, when they lock eyes and the music starts playing, it's one of a kind, really, and it did truly inspire me to make this film. And yeah, Ennio Morricone would be the chosen composer for this. Rest in peace. His iconic Western tunes are really just still listened to today, like 50, 60 years later. His high BPM would be great for the more stressful, suspenseful scenes. So yeah, the story is single father struggling with PTSD, raising his son and trying to hide his history from his son, so his son doesn't become the same. While there's Pinkerton detective agencies and the Brentford brothers trying to take him down, or Rockford brothers, excuse me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my pitch, and hopefully we can talk soon. Thank you.